So the rumors were true after all. The Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 7 is the best of this season so far. While I still have plenty of problems with this show, I have to admit that this episode was a thrill to watch. Mostly because it doesn't include all the crap that made the first 6 episodes bad. There's no stupid side quests, no pointless fan service, and no annoying cameos. It's just full Mandalorian plot from beginning to end. On one hand, I'm happy this episode is good, but on the other hand, I'm a little annoyed I had to sit through 6 episodes of mediocrity to get here. On top of that, I can't tell if I love this episode purely because it's good, or if I love it because this is the first decent Star Wars content we've gotten since Andor. I mean, they say any food will taste good when you're starving. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but in the end, I can't deny it. I enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to the next one that comes out in a few hours. Yeah, I know this video is pretty late, my bad. My birthday and anniversary happened over the weekend, so my schedule's been pretty stacked. But as usual, let's dive straight in with this opening scene. Man, I never get tired of Coruscant. It's just so beautiful. That and this probe droid looks so rad. Kane is shown to be an Imperial spy, which is no surprise at all, but personally, I kind of wish there was a little more depth to her character than just being Moff's informant. With episode 3 being all about her, it seemed like she was being built up to something bigger than just a generic spy, because that's literally all she is. If she's going to be a full-blown evil spy, I would have liked to see more of that than just what she did to Pershing. Like, apparently she orchestrated the pirate attack, and it would have been cool to see an interaction between them to really show her ruthlessness. I don't know, I know that's not the greatest idea, but I just wanted a little more out of her. Moff Gideon's return is something we all saw coming, and though people aren't thrilled to see him back, I kind of enjoy him as the main villain again. The scene with the Shadow Council is a great way to reintroduce him back into this show. We're reminded of his ruthless and cunning demeanor while also getting some great lore on the different Imperial factions. Obviously, this meeting sets up a lot of potential connections with the sequel trilogy, with names like Hux and Thrawn being thrown around. Though we already know the creation of Snoke is coming, it's interesting to see that Gideon is not the one overseeing Project Necromancer, but instead Hux is, which would explain why this Hux holds such a high position in the First Order. But let's move on to the Mandalorians, because they were by far the most entertaining part of this episode. I like how from the moment the new Mandalorians arrive on Navarro, there's already tension between the two factions. This tension persists throughout the episode until they're forced to work together at the end, which is fine. However, I think this development could have been improved if this conflict between the factions was more prevalent throughout the whole season. A major part of this season is the different Mandalorians coming together for a common goal. Bo mentions multiple times the animosity between the two tribes is a problem. So why do we not see more of that in the beginning of the season? Yeah, the arc works in this episode alone, but I feel like it could have been more impactful if it was stretched across multiple episodes. Anyway, backtracking a bit here because I want to talk about Greef's gift to Mando. I need to know where he got this Coruscant Don Julio, because that shit looks good as f***. Nah, I'm just kidding. Though I do think Greef's alcoholic gift is a cute gesture, IG-12 is much more interesting. I will admit, this is pretty funny. These interactions between Grogu and Mando are among the cutest they've ever had. To me, this is Star Wars humor done right. However, it feels like this is the only purpose of IG-12, to have Grogu do something cute. Like I said in my episode 5 video, Grogu has no purpose in this show anymore, and this suit of armor is just something to keep him relevant. It's cool how he uses IG-12 to stop this fight, but he could have easily used the Force, and I would argue that it would have been cooler if he did. Yeah, it's adorable to see Grogu's shenanigans, but do I see IG-12 being very groundbreaking in terms of Grogu's character development? No. Bo-Katan, on the other hand, has great character development and still remains to be the most interesting character this season. I love how she talks about surrendering the Darksaber to Gideon. Not only does this show Bo's honesty as a leader, but also Gideon's betrayal. A betrayal that will influence her actions later in the episode. This and her comment about how Mandalore always falls from its own division is pretty powerful. But the best scene in this episode, and perhaps even in the whole damn show, is Din's pledge to Bo. I've said this so many times, but the best part about this show is Din and Bo's interactions. Their relationship represents the entirety of what this season is trying to accomplish. Overcoming differences for a common goal. Bo and Din started out as enemies this season. I mean, I was under the impression she was gonna kill him for the Darksaber. But now we see that they are more than just two warriors trying to reclaim their land. Not only does Din pledge his life to Bo-Katan as a Mandalorian, he comforts her as a friend. These two just work together so beautifully, and I really hope we get to see them become closer as friends. The climactic battle of this episode was pretty entertaining. I specifically love how Din triple taps this guy. The only real gripe I have with all of this is how unrealistic this appears to be. It felt like the Beskar armored Imperials came out of nowhere. And how does this secret military base even exist? especially with a Godzilla-like monster spontaneously destroying shit. It's not a big deal though, because these awesome fights paired with the iconic music makes for a legendary scene altogether. On top of that, this standoff is where Gideon really shines as a villain. I love his remark on collecting the best aspects of each galactic society to bring order to the galaxy. This man may be evil, but you gotta respect that he's got one hell of a plan. Also, his witty comment to Bo just makes me love him more.
Bo-Katan, we have to stop meeting like this.
There's not much to be said about Paz's sacrifice. I mean, it is your standard heroic sacrifice, but I will say this one is done very well. It really does look like he's fighting till his last breath. I mean, come on. Is that not badass as f***? Plus, the Praetorian Guards actually look dangerous as hell compared to their counterparts in The Last Jedi. I mean, look at this. This was straight savage, man. Yeah, even though I think Paz could have amounted to more this season, his sacrifice still hit me right in the feels, and I can definitely see myself rewatching this scene over again. And yeah, there's not much else I need to say about this episode. It was pretty solid all the way through. It just sucks that the rest of the season is trash, but I can at least expect the finale to be good. On the rad or bad meter, I'd say this episode puts the season right around here. Hey, look at that, we're halfway to rad. For the final episode, I'll probably review both the finale and the season overall, so be on the lookout for when I upload that video. And if you haven't seen my past Mandalorian videos, I definitely recommend checking it out because it's been quite a journey talking about every episode. But yeah, subscribing would totally make my day, and thank you very much for watching this video. I'll catch you next time.